But we're not talking about the Holocaust. My focus is to talk about the people like Oskar Schindler that did something, that stood against all odds, against all hatreds. There is an ancient evil that is rearing its ugly head, and it is so well financed and put together. It is so well coordinated, and most will never see it coming until it's too late. I'm going to play some two pieces of video for you, or two pieces of audio. One is from a cleric in Egypt that was caught on tape. We only have a portion of the tape. I don't know how this could be possibly taken out of context. We're going to go ahead and roll the whole tape that we have and just guess that there's no way that this could be anything other than what he's saying. We only have a portion of this taken from the Middle East. After that, I'm going to show you something that is much more insidious and much more evil because it is subtle, but they are on the same side. First, the Muslim cleric, and Pat, can you translate as it goes?
Mm-hmm.
Here is a Muslim cleric. I want you to listen carefully. We'll play the actual audio for you, but Pat will translate. Here it is.
We are in the era of jihad. The era of jihad has come over us, and jihad in the path of Allah is a pleasure. It is a real pleasure. The companions of the Prophet used to compete to perform jihad. The poverty that we're in is not due to our abandonment of jihad, but if we could conduct 1, 2, or 3 jihadist operations every year, many people throughout the earth would become Muslims. And whoever rejected this dawah or stood in our way, we would fight against him and take him prisoner and confiscate his wealth, his children, and his women. All of this means money. Every mujahid who returned from jihad, his pockets would be full. He would return with 3 or 4 slaves, 3 or 4 women, and 3 or 4 children. Multiply each head by 300 dirhams or 300 dinar, and you have a good amount of profit. If he were to go to the West and work on a commercial deal, he would not make that much money. Whenever things became difficult financially, he could take the head, i.e. the prisoner, and sell it and ease his financial crisis. He would sell it like groceries, or those who are, and then it cut off. He would sell it. He'd sell these people like groceries.
This is the same as I'm listening to this. I'm thinking about the reason why Americans didn't wake up is because they couldn't, maybe, they couldn't hear Hitler in his own words. But then I remembered that there were many Hitler youth camps here in America. I've shown you the pictures before on television. They had the kids here in America dressed as Hitler youth. And they would go to camp, summer camp. There were people that stood with Hitler. They knew. The evil anti-Semitism is rearing its ugly head. But just like Hitler, Hitler had one thing going for him that Germany didn't have in World War II, and that is American propaganda. We have told you the history of Bernays, and that Goebbels had the propaganda, and that's why he had all the great artists over there. He had everybody. And they did propaganda the world over. It worked long enough to kill 6 million out of 8.8 million Jews in Europe. That's staggering. How do you kill and burn or bury 6 million people before the world wakes up? Because the world doesn't want to see it. These are the same words. And it is not just the Jew. First, they came for the Jew, and I said nothing because I wasn't Jewish. Then they came for the Catholic, and I said nothing because I wasn't Catholic. You know the way this poem ends. In the end, there's no one to come and help you because there's no one left. Now is the time to say something. Now is the time to stand up. And so many people will not see this threat coming. They will dismiss it again. And again, evil. The people who are saying these kinds of things are in bed with Americans. They are in bed with people all over the globe. And whether the people that are in bed with them know it, dismiss it, or are so blind that they cannot see it, it makes no difference. It didn't matter if, the who was that famous photographer that did all of those glorious pictures and all of those glorious movements and movies of the Third Reich. It doesn't matter if they knew or not. It's their personal responsibility to figure it out. And it is our personal responsibility to figure it out. I don't know why I have been given the gift, the blessing, or the curse of being able to see slightly over the horizon, but I am telling you I can. And it is not something that I take lightly. It is not something that I have to be careful. I am grateful. But I am not always grateful for it. I don't tell you these things, and I don't have to say this to you. I don't tell you these things because I am going to make money. I don't tell you these things for any other reason other than I believe them with everything in me. And it is my responsibility, just like it is your responsibility, when you know something, to say something. Ask yourself, how did I know? How was it I was over in Israel 2 weeks before the president made his speech? How was it I told you months ago these things were coming? How was it I told you on the Monday before the speech? The ambassador and the prime minister of Israel didn't know they would call for the 67 border. He didn't know. No one knew until he made the announcement. How is it I told you on the Monday before they would divide the city? How? Now I'm telling you this. It is the same message that I've been bringing you for the last few months. The left is making a push for the West, along with the Islamic extremists. They do not have the same goal to be ruled under Sharia law. They will sort that out when we're all dead. They will sort that out when the United States of America and her Constitution no longer stands. They will sort that out after they have destroyed the state of Israel. Right now, they're united to destroy the West. And they have all of the artists. They have the movies. They have every piece of propaganda. They have the news media. They have the singing artists. They have all of it. We have something more powerful. The truth. If it's coupled with courage and peace. They have to image and reject and pretend they don't even exist the people in the streets calling for the death of Jews. They have to dismiss and pretend they don't exist the people like this guy who says we'll sell people into slavery. They have to somehow or another get you to forget that these are the same people that flew the planes into the World Trade Center. You have to forget somehow or another. They got to get you to do it. And they're doing a hell of a job, aren't they? And then they need to image Palestine as some glorious, happy place that needs to be restored somehow or another. And that Israel is the aggressor, just like America is the aggressor somehow or another on our southern border. Do not be duped by this. Not an Insider Extreme member yet? What are you waiting for? Sign up today at glennbeck.com/extreme.